The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. You're on the roof. The homeowner asks a question that can end your week or your license. Should they get a public adjuster? Yes, sometimes. And do you handle the claim for them? Never, because negotiating it makes you an unlicensed public adjuster. By the end, you'll know when a public adjuster earns the work, when one wastes the homeowner's money, and the boundary you never cross. A public adjuster is a licensed pro the homeowner hires to value and negotiate the claim, their lane, not yours. Sort the three adjusters at the table. Most homeowners think the adjuster is a neutral referee. Two of the three aren't. The company adjuster is a salaried carrier employee. The independent adjuster is a contractor the carrier hires after a big storm. Both write to the insurer's view of the loss. The public adjuster is different. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners says it plainly. A public adjuster works for you, the policyholder, and is paid by you, not the insurer. The carrier's number is a starting position, not a verdict. The first place a public adjuster truly earns it. A denial of covered damage the homeowner can document. The carrier admits a storm hit, then calls the damage wear and tear, or cosmetic. That causation fight is the strongest case for a public adjuster. Texas guidance says it directly. Consider one when your claim is denied, or you think the company should pay more. But know the limit. A public adjuster is not an attorney and cannot manufacture coverage a policy doesn't contain. A true exclusion is a lawyer's question. The second case is the underpaid claim. Coverage is fine. The number isn't. It won't rebuild the roof. Usually it's 3 gaps. Missing line items. Starter course. Ridge cap. Drip edge. Ice and water shield. Flashing. Low unit pricing. And code upgrades the building code now requires on a re-roof. The rule of thumb. The bigger the gap between the carrier's estimate and a real one, the more a public adjuster can move, and the more the fee makes sense. A $2,000 gap rarely justifies one. A $20,000 gap often does. Before the gap means anything, the homeowner has to understand how the check arrives. Most replacement cost policies pay twice. Replacement cost value is the full cost to replace. Actual cash value is that minus depreciation. The carrier cuts the first check at actual cash value minus the deductible. Then it holds back the depreciation and releases it as a second check, recoverable depreciation, only after the work is done and invoiced. Skip the job, and the homeowner forfeits the second thousands left on a damaged roof. Case 3. The loss is large and document heavy. Wind and hail rarely stop at the shingles. Water drives through the deck, soaks insulation, stains ceilings, a multi-trade claim, and South Carolina's insurance department notes the first payment may not be final because later damage surfaces in stages. A homeowner running a $60,000 claim from a torn-up house is outmatched by a carrier that processes thousands. A public adjuster levels that on volume. Your lane stays narrow. Document and price the roof, and stay out of the interior unless your company does it. Case 4 is the claim that's simply stuck. Not denied, not lowballed, stalled, months pass under a tarp. A public adjuster helps here as the single point of contact who knows the deadlines and speaks the carrier's language. But there's a free move first. The NAIC tells homeowners to take unreasonable claim handling to their state insurance department. A complaint there can sometimes unstick a claim at no cost. Try the free option before anyone pays a percentage of the settlement to fix a timing problem. Case 5 is a pure dollar fight. The carrier agrees the roof is covered, but won't agree on the amount. 2 tools here, a public adjuster and the appraisal clause in the homeowner's own policy. Each side names an appraiser, an umpire breaks the tie, and the binding result settles the amount of loss only, never whether the loss is covered. So a public adjuster builds the file, then appraisal forces a binding number, no lawsuit. But never invoke appraisal on a coverage denial. The panel can value it at 0. Now flip it, because most roof claims don't need a public adjuster at all. On a fair, simple claim, hiring one is a net loss, and the fee is Y. Public adjusters work on contingency, a percentage of the total settlement, not just the new money recovered. Texas caps it at 10% of the total claim payment and warns the homeowner may owe that fee even if the offer never moves. 10% of a fair $16,000 roof is $1,600 for paperwork the homeowner could have filed. Fees are state regulated, and the rules shifted in 2025, so don't quote a number off the cuff. They generally run 5 to 20%, depending on the state and claim. Many states cap the percentage harder during catastrophes to keep storm victims from getting gouged. California's AB 597 limits the fee to 15% on disaster claims. The honest move is one line. Check your own state insurance department's current rule before signing. Don't trust what a neighbor paid 2 years ago elsewhere. Here's the line, and it is not subtle. In most states, only a licensed public adjuster or attorney may negotiate or adjust a claim on the homeowner's behalf. You cannot. Texas is blunt. Contractors can't advertise that they'll handle your insurance claim, and a public adjuster can't also be the contractor on the job. The reason is conflict of interest. Negotiate the claim and profit from the repair, and you have a reason to inflate the loss. Regulators issue cease and desist orders against roofers for unlicensed public adjusting, and those contracts get voided. So what can you legally do? Plenty. You inspect and photograph the roof, document damage with dates, write a line item estimate, and meet the carrier's adjuster to walk the roof. What you don't do: negotiate the amount, interpret coverage, tell the homeowner to accept or reject the offer, or say the carrier acted in bad faith. A legal conclusion, not a roof finding. Document. Don't diagnose. You're the witness to the roof, not the claim negotiator. Cross that, and you're an unlicensed public adjuster. Watch for the assignment of benefits, the AOB. A homeowner signs it, and the contractor deals with the carrier. The NAIC warns that once signed, the insurer talks only to the third party. The homeowner can lose the right to mediation, and the contractor can even sue the insurer. Nobody has to sign one. Don't be the crew pushing a driveway signature on a storm-rattled homeowner. That's the storm chaser move regulators warn about. Hand them a clean estimate and a day to read it. Slow down, and you're still working in 3 years. When both roles stay in their lane, you and a public adjuster are a strong team. You own the building facts, the adjuster owns the claim process. The homeowner hires each separately, never told one is free. And the better your roof file, the less the adjuster has to rebuild. Dated photos, slope by slope, a line item estimate, inspection notes, all kept per address. The FTC's gut check. Anyone who pressures an on-the-spot signature or won't put terms in writing is the red flag. Here's where Roof Predict fits, and where it doesn't. It pairs a roof age range with per-home storm physics, scoring which roofs a storm most plausibly wore out, so you work the homes a storm aged out before you've even built a route, while chasers knock blind. It also keeps inspection history per address, so the file you hand an adjuster stays clean. It does not inspect the roof, diagnose damage, touch the claim, or decide coverage. Roof age is a planning range, not an exact date. The list starts the route. The inspection earns the sale. Close the loop. A public adjuster earns it on a denial, a real underpayment, a large document-heavy loss, a stalled claim, or a pure dollar fight, not on a clean, fair offer. The fee is a percentage of the whole settlement, capped by state, so the homeowner checks the current rule first. Your line never moves. You document the roof and write an estimate. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim. Negotiate it, and you're unlicensed. Be the witness to the roof, not the lawyer for the claim. The whole job.